So let's begin. So today we are going to talk about entrepreneurship and innovation during pandemic. So we will start off by doing an introduction about what entrepreneurship is. It's about talking about entrepreneurship then and now, and then we will move on to talk a little bit about social entrepreneurship, the definition of social entrepreneurship and why social entrepreneurship. And we will talk about emotional intelligence in entrepreneurship, which is very, very important. So we will understand a little bit about what emotional intelligence is and what are the skills required. And finally, entrepreneurship in education, what Taylor's University have got to offer. So first, entrepreneurship then and now. So when you talk about entrepreneurship in past, being an entrepreneur is so easy. It just means that you need to have an idea on what to produce or a service that you would like to offer. And then you have a business plan, you find a location where you want to operate, and then you get fundings and you're ready to go. And because you are so location based, you exactly know who your people are because you're just serving in a specific location. So let's say, like, for example, if you have a business located in Jalan Telawi Bangsa, okay, so you know that you are serving people around that area. So you know who your people are, who your customers are, you know how to interact with them, you know how to market your product to them, you know how to ensure that, your customers remain loyal to you. But that was then, and you are ready to go, your business would be successful. But nowadays, it's not the same anymore because of technology and digitalization seems to be the way to go forward. So you no longer would be able, you won't be able to survive if you just have like a brick and mortar store. You need to create your presence online in order for you to really, really be successful. Why? Because nowadays, when you have a new brand or there is a new product in the market, the first thing people will do is to Google, oh, let me find out about this brand. Let me see what people have got to say about this new product. What are the reviews? What people have commented about the product? Can I find any information about the product before I purchase? So if you do not have a digital appearance, people would think that, oh, I can't find any information. Probably it may be a scam, or probably this business does not exist. Or why should I purchase a business or a product if I really don't know what is it all about? So people won't come to you. You won't be able to create your presence. You won't be able to survive and sustain in the market. Hence, that's the reason why you really need to be online to be successful these days. And why do you need to be online? Like I said, you need to build your brand. You need to create an identity. You need to gain credibility of your customers. The moment you are available in the market, the moment you are available in the search engine, people know you exist. The moment people know you exist, they can read your reviews online, you will be able to attract more customers. And the most important thing is now that you will not be only bonded in a specific location, no longer in just Jalan Telawi Bangsa, for instance. You are now available or visible throughout Malaysia, not only Malaysia, by the whole world. Okay, so that's the reason why technology and digitalization is so important these days. And again now, because of the current situation that we are all facing, COVID-19 pandemic, many people have been affected. Many businesses have been affected due to COVID-19. Small businesses and even larger businesses, they all had to close down. They couldn't survive in this kind of situations. Hence, entrepreneurs today need to be fast thinkers to ensure that they can actually keep their business afloat during situations like this. So it's not only entrepreneurs, even people who work for companies, employees, they are also affected. The unemployment rate is becoming so high. People are jobless. But if you are not able to take opportunities in this kind of situation, obviously you won't be able to survive. So there are like many unemployed people who actually took opportunities in these situations and they became entrepreneurs. For example, see, COVID-19, former Shah Alam pilot wears uniform while running a food store after losing his job. So he was working for an airline company. He lost his job, but he took the opportunities and he's a businessman now. He's surviving. And a Malaysian ex-pilot who runs a street burger called the Smash Burger. Again, he lost his job and they're doing pretty well in Bukit Jelutong. We also have an engineering graduate. You see, even students after graduate, they can't get themselves a job, they can't sustain the job because of the pandemic. So they just don't sit and then like say, oh, you know what, I can't get a job, that's it, gone. They took an initiative. He sell masala tea for R1 in Brickfield and he is earning something. So you call them entrepreneurs. So an entrepreneur is not only a person who actually run a business just for the sake of profit. There is another type of entrepreneurship, which is called the social entrepreneurship. So you do not only just earn profit for yourself, but you can also earn profit for the community. Now, I will hand over the floor to Dr. Akila, and she will talk more about social entrepreneurship. Akila, over to you.
All right. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Hope you are doing great. Can you hear me? If yes, maybe you can show some thumbs up. All right. Okay. So thank you, Ms. Mehmet, for that insightful introduction on introduction on entrepreneurship. So my name is Akila. I'm a lecturer in Management and Marketing, Thales Business School. So before I start my presentation on social entrepreneurship, I would like to ask the audience, any social entrepreneurs out there? Or do you know any social enterprises out there? If yes, maybe you can share some of their details in the chat box and we can all read more about them after this seminar and we can all support their business and most importantly, support their social causes. All right, so you can just type your answers in the chat box, okay? So we can read it later. All right, so let us begin. So today I will talk a little bit about social entrepreneurship. So I'm sure most of you are aware of this term by now. So in brief, social entrepreneurship is all about using business method to solve a particular issue in an innovative way. So what does it mean by social here? So social here is when an entrepreneur wanted to solve a need or a problem. So this kind of problem could be related to social issues or related to cultural issues or environmental issues, okay? So now, as you can see during pandemic, there are lots and lots of social issues happening out there. So actually, this is not a problem. This is opportunity for entrepreneurs to create a business that not only profitable, but as well as can solve social needs out there. Okay, so for example, I give example of a zero waste store. So we have a few zero waste store in Malaysia, such as the Hive, Conserve. So I would refer them as a social entrepreneurs because they create business in an aim to solve the environmental issues such as reducing waste. So for example, they want to reduce single waste plastic. So instead of you going to a normal grocery shop where everything is wrapped in plastic, what they do is they give an alternative to the customer to shop in a place where there is less use of single-use plastic, where you can bring your own container, you can refill your stuff food there, and you can also buy like reusable straws, and you can buy wooden toothbrush that are easily composed. And especially during this pandemic, we all need masks, right? So they also sell reusable masks because as you can see every day, people throw lots and lots of masks because we need to use it. So alternative to that, they are providing reusable masks. So they are a good example of social entrepreneurs because they come up with a solution, not only selling product that can generate profit for them, but also try to at least minimize waste being thrown in the waste in the landfill. Besides that, they also support like farmers market. So local farmers. So for example, they give you an option where you can buy vegetables and fruits from the local farmers, and all the things are not being wrapped in plastic. They will wrap it in a, you can bring your own container, or they will just wrap it in with a newspaper or something like that. Okay, so that is an example of a business with greater sense of purpose, not only getting profit, but as well as solving social needs or problem out there. So the example that I give just now is related to the environmental issues. Okay, so besides that, you might ask, okay, what are other social entrepreneurs out there? So another example is this company called Streetwise. So their mission is to help the underprivileged kids. So what they do is they provide street kids with mobile school. So they go to the kids and teach them educations because their mission is related to education. But after going there, they feel like actually the corporate people can get training from the kids as well, because the kids are very resilient. They survive in tough conditions. So it's a two ways, it's a win-win situation. The street kids can learn from the corporate people, and the corporate people can also learn from the resilient kids on the street. So that's another example. Okay, so let's move on. Next slide. Okay, so if you can see on the screen, hold on. Sorry, it's a bit lagging. Give me a minute. Okay, so if you can see here on the left, this is the normal non-profit organization, charities out there. So they are very mission driven, but they are a bit hard to sustain themselves because they depend on people's donation. They don't generate income themselves. So this is where a non-profit organization belong to. And then if you look on the right, this one is more profit-making businesses. So they are very profit-making driven. So they always think about profit, profit, profit. But sometimes they still try to help the community by having CSR project. But there's a difference between you have to do something and you want to do something. But if you look at social entrepreneurs, they sit right in the middle between the non-profit and also normal business, profit-making businesses out there. So they can receive the best of both worlds because they have mission with them as well as trying to generate profit. So that's why I could say that social entrepreneurship is the best way forward, because it could address social needs, like I said just now, and then they find innovative ways to for consumer as well as solving social businesses, and they have a very long-term sustainable project. So that they can solve a particular project. So this is why social entrepreneurs are great. Okay, next. Okay, so why do we need all these social enterprise? So like I said just now, with all the disadvantages group out there, with all the unemployment. So previously with the global problems such as natural disaster and so on, and now with world pandemic, so there's more social problems or social needs out there. So we need all more social enterprise to try to solve the issues. Okay, so let's see some more examples. Okay, so for example here, sorry, my slide is a bit lagging. Okay. So for example here, we can see in UK, they have this social enterprise called Big Issue. They help the homeless people on the street. So instead of having these homeless people on the street just begging for money, they give them some magazine or something to sell. So they sit on the street at the same time they are selling something. So that is another example. And then one more example is by this man, if you know him, he's the famous singer Bon Jovi. So what he did was having this kitchen, soul kitchen, he named it, is for everyone to come. So even the homeless can come. So for example, you as a customer, you go there, you buy a food for yourself, but you are paying for 2 meals. So the other meal that you are paying will be given to the homeless who come in to eat. So that's another example if it's related to food and serving the underprivileged people. Besides that, we also have the famous Muhammad Yunus. So he's called the banker to the poor, because he tried to create a bank where it helped the poor people to also come up with business ideas, because we know that they could not go to other normal banks to get a fund. So this is another good initiative by Muhammad Yunus. Besides that, in terms of clothing, right? So if you want to sell clothes, instead of just selling normal clothes, you can think of a better way, more greener option to the customer. So maybe the clothes is recyclable and is like an ethical fabric and so on. Okay, so another example is Tom shoes. So this is a very good example in terms of like shoes and stuff. So what they did was, if a customer buys shoes, they will donate another pair to the underprivileged kids. So they always have social mission attached to their business ideas. Another one here is protecting the farmers. So this one is, for example, fair trade chocolate. So if you can see some chocolate, they might have a label fair trade, means that they are protecting those farmers who are poor farmers who are doing all the hard work. So they are giving a fair amount of income to them. And then another one here is Liter of Light. So Liter of Light is another good example in the slum of Philippines, where this business collect all those recyclable items and they help to generate electric by just using recyclable materials. So maybe you can go on and look more into it. So what do all of these people have in common? So to be able to become a social entrepreneur is not easy. You have to have a very abundant mindset. You have to be a giver. You must be willing to contribute to others. You must view life as not just about yourself, but to serve others. So you have to be optimistic and so on. Good thinker and highly creative and innovative. All right, so let's move on. So during this pandemic, actually, it represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity for us to really reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. That's why social entrepreneurs are needed more than ever. So why not you sit down and really think what is really needed out there during this pandemic, and try to come up with business ideas that could solve that needs, as well as for you to gain profit. So it's important for you to always have a mission, like social mission, as well as adapting to the business and principal strategies. So I give you some example of social entrepreneurs currently contributing during pandemic. So for example, now education is a big thing now, because people cannot go to school and so on. So what this founder is doing is they are providing an e-learning platform for those people in Africa, where they can still learn when they're still at home. And then like this one, Sarah is doing a mentorship program where they want to help social entrepreneurs out there. So they they approach expert out there to give a talk. Or maybe like this one, Samira, he's trying to create a face mask disinfection device where it can help to, let the face mask be reused again, and so on. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities out there that we as a social entrepreneurs can do. So it's important for you to include both. Okay, and be innovative with the ideas. So it is time for us now to fight for social change, especially among the youngsters. You have all the time, you are very creative, innovative, and so on. And then with the social media now, you can have a campaign and so on. So my conclusion here is for you, you can look at it as in two perspectives. So if you are an entrepreneur, instead of just creating a business to gain profit, you might want to add social mission behind it, okay? And when you add social mission, actually, it will be easier for you to market your product because it's adding value to the customer. When you add value to the customer will want to purchase your product because you have the customer's interest at your heart, and the profit will come later on. So it's important for you as a entrepreneurs to always bring social mission into your ideas. And if you are not interested in creating a business, as a customer, you could be out there choosing social entrepreneurs businesses. So instead of you buying a normal chocolate, you might want to buy a chocolate that is supporting the local farmers and so on. So you will become serving others and so on. And if you are a student, maybe you might want to choose elective subjects such as social entrepreneurship module, so we can brainstorm more ideas on how to create social businesses ideas out there. So focus on what you are mostly passionate about. We can all do our part in making the world a better place. Alone, we can do so little, but together we can do so much. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to listen to me. And now I will pass the floor to Dr. Kanjali. So besides you creating a business to generate profit, besides creating business that have social mission, you as entrepreneurs also need to understand yourself and know emotional intelligence. And Dr. Kan will explain it in more detail. Over to you, Dr. Kan.
All right, thank you, Dr. Akila. So I'm Dr. Gan here. Good morning to you all. Okay, so just now, Dr. Akila has mentioned about the social entrepreneurship, which is taking care about the environment as well as the community. So who is going to take care of the entrepreneurs themselves? So according to the Chinese philosopher, strong is he who conquers others, but powerful is he who is able to conquer himself. So this brings the meaning that emotional intelligence plays a really main role in taking care of the entrepreneurs themselves, especially in the aspect of emotion or mental well-being. So we can see from this World Economic Forum ranking. So when we talk about business, it was about the relationship or the interaction between the entrepreneurs as well as the customer. So this interaction or this relationship need a very good interpersonal skill to maintain. So from this top 10 skill in 2020, we can see that most of the skills are interpersonal skill. For example, like negotiation skill, a problem solving skill, or the people management, or as well as the coordinating skill with others. But you have to bear in mind that all these interpersonal skills are actually influenced by your level of emotional intelligence. So this means that emotional intelligence really plays a big role in predicting the outcome of the certain tasks, especially in entrepreneurship in the context of this webinar. So emotional intelligence is actually not a new thing for us, but we tend to overlook it when we fail to manage our own emotion in our daily life. So the importance of EI, we can see that through this ranking, where it is still ranked as one of the important skills in 2022. So you will still seeing some of the interpersonal skill in this ranking. For example, again, like the problem solving skill as well as the leadership skill. But without a certain level of EI, you will not be conduct this interpersonal skill effectively in your daily life or even in your entrepreneurship. So let's see what is happening in entrepreneurship during this pandemic. So this pandemic is considered as one of the biggest stressor for the entrepreneurs because it is triggering the fears and uncertainties among the entrepreneur. So the next thing the entrepreneur do is they will look for the potential solution for survival and also the sustainability. So for example, the very famous fashion brand LV, they has actually repurposed their production to produce face masks. So to do this, they can ensure the survival or the sustainability in their business or even in their own industry. The next thing is about the business is facing a multiple overlapping crisis now. So what are the crises here is like the financial fallout of the pandemic, as well as the new working norms to be compliant among the employees. So this can cause a sharp rise of mental health problems in this pandemic. So the example of the mental health problems are like depression, anxiety, as well as the sleep disorder. So the next thing the entrepreneurs can do is reassess their business strategies. So we know that each enterprise has their own path. So how they are going to do the reassessment of their business strategies is very depending on the business type they are running. So some of the entrepreneurs will choose to reduce their business activity so that they can reduce some costs. And also some of them will rescale themselves in terms of the development. So we have acknowledged the importance of the emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? So EI is defined as the ability to understand, to use, and to manage your own emotion in positive way. So by doing this, we can relieve our stress, communicate effectively with our customers, empathize with others, overcome the challenges, especially in this pandemic, and also to resolve the conflict in our entrepreneurship or in our company. So there are 4 common ways to demonstrate your ability of EI. The first thing is about how you are going to manage your emotions. The second thing is about understanding your own emotion and others' emotion. The third thing is about how you use your emotion to facilitate your own thinking when you are trying to do decision making in your entrepreneurship, and also to perceive the emotions accurately when you are having conversation with your customers. So how EI is related to entrepreneurship in this pandemic? The first thing is about EI or AI. So before this pandemic, we always focus on how to improve the AI, but neglecting the importance of EI. But however, the EI is very important for now, especially during the pandemic, because the entrepreneurial leaders need the skill of EI to handle or to manage their depressed employee or even themselves in this pandemic. But this doesn't mean that we need to totally put AI aside for now, but it is the time for entrepreneurs to balance the utilization between EI and AI in this pandemic to be sustainable in their business. So the next is you have to change your voice from a salesperson to empathetic and understanding friend. So to do this, you need to personalize or individualize your customers so that you can send the right message to the right customers in this pandemic. The next thing is about promoting a positive emotional climate and to meet the needs of employees, stakeholders to gain back their trust, security, and also the connection in this pandemic. So what can entrepreneurial leaders do is they can promote a positive emotional climate by empowering the employees to solve the complex issue during this pandemic. Okay, the next thing is about understanding that your customers are actually scared, nervous, and also living on an increasingly stretched budget in this pandemic. So what you can do by using your emotional intelligence is you can understand better what is their actual needs and concern during their purchase. So when you can target on their purchase, when you can target on their concern, you will let them to open up to you, and you can smoothly close your sales in your business. So the next is about reaching out to customers to let them know that your store is still open in this pandemic. So when we talk about reaching out to customers, it means that you need to have a business conversation with your customers. So the business conversation is the key for you to close the sales in your business. So yes, do reach out to your customer to let them know your store is still open via several kind of platform, especially the social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. The next thing is about making emotions work for you instead of against you. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, it does not mean that we need to remove all the emotion in your decision-making process. It simply means that you need to acknowledge your emotion and think of how to manage your emotion well during the decision-making process. It's actually very helpful in this pandemic when you have a high level of emotional intelligence, because it can help you to make every decision based on the rationality, or we call it rational thinking. The next is looking at problems with an emotionally intelligent mindset. So it's very important for you to have a emotional intelligence, because you will be aware of your own emotional trappings. So you will be more analytic and also problem solving in nature. So you'll be asking questions like, what are the other issues I'm not seeing here to reach my business target? So in general, how EI could contribute to the entrepreneurship? So according to the research in the past 2 decades, emotional competence is known as one of the essential components for the entrepreneurial leaders, because they need the competence to navigate the uncertainty and ambiguity that they face in their business process. But then that also help the entrepreneurs to understand their co-workers or to understand their client better, hence creating more positive relationship with them. So the next thing is about regulating your own emotion. So when you have the ability to regulate your own emotion, you will be able to control your emotion, as well as you will not let your emotion to worsening the situation of your business. So the next thing is, the more emotionally intelligent the entrepreneur, the more likely they are to hit on a product or service that best solve the pain point of their customers. So when you have the emotional intelligence within yourself, so you will be able to target the specific needs of your customers, so that you can catch their emotion and looking for the right solution for each of them. The next thing is, when you have the emotional intelligence, you will be know how to channel your emotion productively. So let's say if the entrepreneurs with higher EI, so when they face disappointment in one business project, they will channel the disappointment to perform better in the next time, instead of dwelling on the past mistakes. And strong EI could also help you to breed the optimism and also resiliency. So these two traits is considered as a vital traits for you to navigate the ups and downs during your business process. And also in addition, EI has a very strong predictive power for entrepreneurial ability as well. So when you have a high level of EI, you tend to be more extroverted, be more open to new opportunities, and also having lower level of neuroticism. So all these positive traits can actually help you to enhance the entrepreneurial ability. So what we can observe during this pandemic is most of the entrepreneurs has actually switched their business to online, to become an online entrepreneur, because of some kind of restriction or any movement control in respective countries. So how EI can actually help the online entrepreneur in their business? So the first thing is they can use their EI to understand the customer's emotion in order to attract or to retain the old customer. So setting up an online store is pretty easy, but to run the business in the long run, it could be very challenging or difficult if you fail to use your EI or customer psychology tricks in your business. So it has been shown that emotional intelligence and other soft skills could actually contribute 85 to 87% to our online success. So the next thing is, you have to use your emotion to your advantage. So when you are able to use your emotion in your business, you will have a better networking ability that enables you to harness or to appreciate the power of social media as one of your business strategy. The next thing is about the communication in an online business. So one thing that online entrepreneurs need to pay attention is, although they are doing their business virtually, but they have to make sure that the interaction between the entrepreneur and customer is happening in a real time. So for example, if the customer posts a question in your social media platform, so you have to ensure that your response or your interaction must be in real. So that could enhance the relationship between your business as well as the customers. So the next thing is, look at the overall picture. So emotionally intelligent online entrepreneurs They can actually recognize the situations that can elicit the negative response by stepping back to see the overall picture or the bigger picture from now and then. From now and then. So they will have two choices to come up with a decision whether they want to improve the current situation, or they can leave it aside until they are equipped with the certain level of skills or knowledge to solve the particular issue. So to conclude, we all are living in a relationship-oriented country. So the positive or the good relationship is much appreciated among the community. So being emotionally intelligent will help us to go for a long way, and it will be likely to develop a stronger sense of loyalty between the customer and your brand. So in the time of this pandemic, it does not mean that you can no longer market the non-essential product. It just means that you have to market your own product in a more empathetic way, and also you show that you care about them. So to align with the importance of the emotional intelligence and the interpersonal skill, one of the modules has actually offered by Taylor's under the program of team entrepreneurship. So this program will be further explained by our teammate, Mahmet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gan. So, well, entrepreneurship is indeed a growing area now, and it is the most talked about thing these days. And at the current high unemployment rate, one should be a job provider instead of a job seeker. So we offer this program called the Bachelor's in Entrepreneurship Team Entrepreneurship to actually groom students to be future entrepreneurs while running their businesses and also studying. So what team entrepreneurship is all about and how is it so special compared to the other degree programs? So if you see the other degree programs offered by universities all around the world, it's very traditional, where students have to attend lectures, tutorials, and then you do your assignments, you do your final exams, you graduate, and then you go outside and seek for a job, get a fixed salary, and that's it. But here in Taylor's team entrepreneurship, we actually encourage students to start their business while in their degree program. So why is team entrepreneurship so special? Because it's based on a practical and action-driven learning. So you do and you learn, and then it's coached by business mentors. So we have external business mentors, and we also have internal coaches, certified internal coaches, to actually coach students throughout their 3 years journey. And their learning is also supported by Taylor's Miracle Makerspace. So what is Taylor's Miracle Makerspace? It's actually a hub to encourage students to learn more knowledge or to learn new skills. Like, for example, if you want to create an app, if a business student wants to create an app and they may not know anything about programming, so they can go to Taylor's Miracle Makerspace to get connected with people who know how to do programming things so that they can learn how to make an app. And also in this program, we provide seed funding for students who actually want to kickstart their business. And we also have appointed a business incubator director who is a real entrepreneur who is there to assist and mentor students' business projects throughout their 3 years journey with us. So our program here it consists of 3 strands, where students actually learn about enterprise, entrepreneurship, they learn about team because they work in a team, and they also have individual modules like personal and learning development, like emotional intelligence, which is explained by Dr. Gan. And this program is run based on workshops, seminars, blended learning, and also it's coursework driven. And the most important element in this program is the coaching. So every student group or every team is assigned to a coach, and this coach will actually be there to mentor students' progress throughout the 3 years journey. The coach will be there to have dialogue sessions with the students, to monitor their business progress, to teach them, train them to become entrepreneurs. And overview of the program, it's called the Bachelor's in Entrepreneurship, Team Entrepreneurship, like I mentioned. It's a dual award with the UB, and we have 2 intakes. The most important element about this program is that these modules are delivered via workshops, guest speakers, and blended learning. And like I mentioned, the most important element in this program is the coaching. session, which is different compared to the module delivery itself. And also in terms of assessments, we have projects, presentation, reflections, portfolios, team and self-evaluation, as well as the learning contract. The learning contract is to monitor students' goals throughout the 3 years of the program, to know where they are actually, how are they going to move forward, what are their plans moving forward, and so on. So our students work in this particular area called the co-working space, which we have our very own co-working space called the BizPod. So BizPod is basically a place where you actually work like as though you're working in an office. So our students who join this program, we don't call them students, we call them team entrepreneurs. So because they are entrepreneurs, they work in a co-working space. So they have their discussions, they have their pitching sessions, they have their trainings in this particular area. So overall, what Taylor's programs focus on, it focuses on holistic learning experience. So there are 3 main domains here, which is student experience, where you have the exchange mobility programs. We expose our students to competitions. And then in terms of academic system, we have our own Taylor's graduate capabilities, and we focuses on blended learning teaching. And of course, we have very rigorous academic standards. And also, we have industry connects, where we have internships, industry immersions, we have lots of industry engagements, as well as industry advisory panels. And that's all from us. We would like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us. And now we are open for question and answers. So
maybe I can acknowledge those people who suggest some of the social enterprise out there. So like maybe Joe, she shared about Harry's Green Carpenter, Eats Root and Shoots, and Fat Hopes. Yeah, thank you so much. We can check them out. And Dynamike suggested Pit Stop Community Cafe, where they sell lunch and give free food for homeless in KL. Wow, that's a very good initiative. And one more from Pei Ling Tan, who suggested Olive Vine Singapore for kids and families in rural Indonesia and Philippines. Thank you so much for the suggestions. Yeah. Okay, so should we try to answer Vinod question about the income disparity between a pre-pandemic pilot, like pilot job, and post-pandemic, like selling nasi lemak job might be insignificant. So how does a person with loans like house, car manage this payment while the post-pandemic job takes time to get established? Okay, so maybe I can try to answer a little bit, and then my colleague can help out. Yeah. Okay, so for this question, the most important thing first is to remain patient. So that is the most important thing. And to really acknowledge, yes, there is an income disparity between being a pilot and nasi lemak. So we cannot deny that. So we have to acknowledge it. And the third one, we should not be panic or start worrying, because everyone actually is going through the tough time. So the main thing is to really reflect and keep on being positive and try to think of anything else that I can sell. So for example, a pilot maybe instead of, okay, first, if you choose to sell nasi lemak, so maybe you can find other innovative ways to sell it. So now you can viral it. And even now, we always heard pilot selling something. So even me, I will go to that just to try. So make it viral. And then the next thing, maybe you can look within yourself. So what are the skills that you have? So if you are a pilot, maybe you can start going into the education line, because maybe you can start sharing or creating a webinar and so on. So you can share your skill and knowledge about piloting. I know it's not the same as a pilot salary, but it's steps that you can at least try to do now. So it is time for us to really be creative, use the technology, try out something new, and the importance of emotional intelligence just now to really control your feelings, manage it, and channel it by creating a new creative ideas. So lastly, from me, maybe we all should brace the storm. So it's okay that we are not alone, and we can try, like, think of something and try to collaborate with others. So that is what I can think of right at the moment. Yeah.
So just to add on, like while preparing ourselves mentally and then trying to do what we can do best, we can also seek help from the government. Like for example, during these kind of situations, a government have stepped in to help the people who are in need. Like for example, we have the government moratorium. You can use your own savings, and even now EPF withdrawals are allowed. So those who are in need actually can make use of all these opportunities, like for example, EPF withdrawals, to start off your own businesses as like initial capital, and then think of how to use those money wisely. Not like there was in news, there was this guy who used his EPF withdrawals to create how many 11 bumps because he got so irritated with the cars passing by his house. So yeah, you may not want to use your EPF money for those kind of purposes, which is like, it doesn't make any sense, but probably use it for an initial capital for your business. Yeah, thank you. So do we have any other questions?
So the second one is related to social enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can start off on that. So someone asked about whether private university could be a social enterprise. So obviously private university, we have to generate income and so on, but we can do on the side. So for example, we have Fresh Mud, where it's a student initiative where the students try to create a business, and some portion of the income that they generate will be given to the people in need. Or you can, like, university could collaborate. Actually, we have been collaborating with different charities out there. So we work closely with them, and maybe the university could also provide some scholarships for the underprivileged so that they could also learn in TELES. And then actually it's more of organizing more community services projects. And also recently TELES collected money to help to buy underprivileged some laptops. So university can still think of ways on the side, because our mission is also to keep on creating community services initiative in the future. Yes. So that's from me.
So we have another question from Bhuvanis. How would you differentiate the degree in entrepreneurship from a basic degree program? So why do I say that our team entrepreneurship program is so different? Is because even in terms of assessments, when we create assessments for every single module which is offered in this program, it is based on, it is very practical, where students actually can apply those assessments in terms of in running their own business. So for team entrepreneurship program, when students form a team, they actually have to come up with a business idea for the team. So as they are progressing every semester, they will actually progress in their business as well. So every single assignment is actually a progress of their business. So they are not just doing the assignment for the sake of doing it and then passing their final exams, but they're actually doing the assignments practically to progress in their business as well. So yeah, so that's how we are very different, because we are very practical. We learn by doing.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was wondering, right? So that means, would you encourage adults to take this entrepreneurship degree? Because from what you just explained to me, right, it's so hands-on. So that means that lots of people who just lost their jobs, like you said, the pilot, right? He may not have much entrepreneurship background. So then maybe taking such a program would give him a better idea of how to run this.
Oh yes, of course. This program is not just open for students who have like finished their A levels, or finished their Form 6 and then they join their degree program. It's open to anyone, even someone who have completed their degree program and they started working out, then they want to do their second degree. Yes, why not?
So yeah, so this can be like a +1 from a normal basic business degree as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. So I think we don't have any more questions. Yeah. So I think we are done with the Q&A session. Thank you so much for asking us very open-ended questions. So yeah, I really hope that we benefit from each other. So I think it's the end of the session, right? So before we end our session today, we would like to take a picture with all of you here. So do turn on your camera so that we can all see you, and we will take some nice, beautiful shots of ourselves. So I'll just let the organizer change the view, the gallery view. Okay, so I think we will take the first shot. We have 3 pages, so we will go step by step. So this is the first page now. So if you're all ready, 1, 2, 3, we all can smile. Okay. So are we good to move on to the second one? All right.
Yeah,
So it's the second page now. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. I really hope you guys have a nice day ahead. And until we meet again, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.